So you guys, it all seems like your core staff balloons a bit around, managing the artists and talent around on site. Do you have any tips for training those individuals who are coming in like the day of or a couple days into load in? And do you have any tips on training or communicating with them so that they're kind of walking in lockstep with your plan?
I mean, I don't want to train someone brand new 2 days out before an event, but it definitely has happened. But we work with seasoned professionals that have been doing different roles. I love to move people around if they want to try AR and they've only done hospo, and one of the biggest tips that I give them is like, you're dealing with a person. This isn't like I don't care who they work for. It's a tour manager doing his job. We want to make his job easy, but he also needs to hold up his end of the bargain and work with us, and I just try and tell him it's only rock and roll. Like, let's not get too, I used to get very worked up and overwhelmed when I was younger and stressed. And I am trying every day to like be better about that. And I don't want to see that in my staff. I don't want to see that in the people that I am lucky enough to work with. I mean, let's just flow with it. We'll get it all done. It's going to happen. And like Alex mentioned, all these different roles, they're there for support. We're supporting one another. We all have our jobs to do. And like, you're never an island. And those are like the key points I try and tell them.
Cool. Any thoughts, Alex or Mark?
Yeah, I try and make sure that all of my staff has all of the information, unless it absolutely needs to be kept confidential. I really feel like the more information everyone has, the more empowered everyone is. And, like you said, of course, it's nice when you have like a seasoned professional with you, but for me, it's more about the attitude. If someone wants to do the work, wants to learn, wants to be there, sometimes it takes a little time just to figure out what the right spot is for them. But it's also being there for questions and, always having that open door for me, but also asking back the question of, well, what do you think? I hired you, I trust your judgment. What do you think? And then being able to kind of guide them from there. But I'm an oversharer, if anything, when it comes to information.
Yeah. I think with me, I try to work with experienced people also. I try to tell everyone, we got to work as a team because everyone is dependent on the other to try, once talent comes on site, you're basically a representative of the event. So make sure you're hospitable, try to, if they're asking for something that seems a little crazy, try to your best and manage it. If not, come to me and handle it. The other big part is don't get starstruck. Don't turn into all of a sudden an instant groupie and start asking for autographs and photos and things along those lines. It's happened. I mean, I think we've all faced with that at one time or another, and you kind of have to remove that person and talk with them about it. Communication is always key, because if something is running behind or if something is happening or you can't find the talent, which has happened before, let us all know so that we can handle it in real time and such.
Yeah, a big part of building that trust is having someone who knows when to ask for help, who knows when to, to say, hey, this seems off, is my gut right on that or not?
So Anna and Alex, you guys have been on both sides of the table, and I'm sure over the years, Mark, you have too, supporting the artists and the talent, but and obviously now on the event side. From the perspective of the artist side, do you have any tips on what would make your life easier if you were the tour manager, assistant tour manager, or the production coordinator? Alex, do you mind kicking that one off?
Sure. It's something that I've kind of has helped myself and my staff to be almost better at our artist relations job. Is like, I always tell them, try and picture yourself, even if you haven't been on tour, like what that might feel like, if you've done 12 shows in, 6 days kind of thing, what is that tour going to feel like? And that's always appreciated on the other side, I think. And then just having that information easily accessible. And even if you don't have all the answers, just sending out a response. I think like one of the biggest challenges is not hearing from anyone, not getting a response. And it's, even if it's just a sit tight, I'll get that info for you. Or, if the advance on the artist relations side is coming a little bit later than I'd like, just saying, hey, responding and saying, hey, what can I help you with in the immediate? What's most urgent? And then we'll get to all the rest later. Any sign of life, I think, is better than nothing at all when you're on tour.
Well, so, and I'll ask you, Anna and Mark, in a second. But what does 12 shows in 6 days feel like? Go ahead, Alex.
Been there.
Anna, anything from your end, being on the other side of the table? Any tips or advice you'd give a festival in working with you?
I think, what Alex said as well, but like, and we talked about this yesterday, but like less buttons to press, like let's make it as easy and streamlined as possible. I don't need to know every name that goes with every person that you're advancing catering for. Like there's certain things that we can, be a little loose about on the advance that I think helps on their end, because 6 shows or 12 shows in 6 days or whatever it is like a lot of advancing. So to try and keep it streamlined and as easy of flow in the advanced process as possible for those touring groups, I think is super key, especially right now with so much changing with their dates and with just COVID is changing our world. So I think just trying to keep it as simple with where we still are getting the information that we need.
Awesome. And Mark, anything from your perspective over the years?
Yeah, I mean, again, like you were saying, the others were saying, that is, you're dealing with a lot of people that are dealing with almost like 200 plus shows, and this is just another stop on their tour or their whatever they're doing, their appearances. So, I think ideally, if there's a way, which I guess is what Lend is, having that one click where it's like a portal and it just right there, it's like they can click through all the different things that they need, and instead of having that back and forth email chain going on and text messages and things like that, if you can figure out a way how to eliminate all that communication and CCing and, having the wrong people involved or, things getting sent to the wrong people, just having that one thing where it's like, okay, for this event, I just click on this, I see the whole list, I'll just upload everything that I need to them, and then that's it. And then there may be a follow-up, 1 or 2 key follow-ups before the event. I think that's ideal for most people, especially for tour managers or tour management or artist management.
And when you have those formats, having the option, like if it's an automated sheet that you're filling out or form, Google, whatever it is, Lend, having the option to save and go back, because it's better to know, all right, at least my transportation secured, the tour, the band or artist or whatever can live if we don't get our full hospitality writer, or vice versa. If you don't know where you're flying in from the day before, then at least the other things are covered there.